What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel today. Me and Cam here. You all know him from the famous toys that he has in his background and all the money being spent to show you those expensive videos. Yeah, but we're here today. We both seen Aquaman 2: The Lost Kingdom. And we're here to talk spoilers with you. You probably got a couple reviews out there already, but we're here to give you the truth about it, break down some of the points. We're not gonna go through it point for point because we'll be here all night talking about Aquaman. But we're gonna drop some of the details. Like I said, you've been forewarned. This is a spoiler review for Aquaman 2: The Lost Kingdom. First things first, Cam. What did you like? What you think about the movie coming out that theater?
I thought it was fair, to be honest with you. I know people are probably going to be super critical on a lot of these reviews, but I thought it was a kind of a fun movie, to be honest with you. I don't think there were high stakes, intense moments, but I never felt like, all right, they're going to fail. You know what I'm saying? I never felt like, all right, they're really in danger at this point. I just felt like the good guy was going to triumph through the whole entire thing, which was like reading a comic, but a early on comic, not like the darker versions that we see now where like the superhero could probably end up dying or end up failing and stuff. But overall, I thought it was pretty good though.
Who wants to see that? No,
nobody.
No, I agree with you. For me, like saw Aquaman, I had zero expectations. I honestly didn't even want to see the movie. Not that I had an issue with the first one or anything like that. I just generally I think I just been bummed out about the whole DCEU thing. I saw The Flash. I thought The Flash was okay. I had a good time with it. But, I came out and all of a sudden, like days later, a week later, everybody's hating that movie. I was just like, oh, okay. It's like, man, we can't just go to the movies anymore to just have fun. Like we've gotten to a point where like the pinnacle of like what we see on screen or like what we need to see, has to be at this certain level. Like we can't just have fun at the movies no more. We can't just have like a mindless movie. Everything has to be this MCU level, phase 3 level of movie now. Everything has to be an Endgame. Everything has to be an Infinity War. And even to the point now, and we're not talking about Marvel, but like every Marvel fans can't even tell you what they liked or what's missing or whatever anymore.
Yeah.
People just like, oh, it sucked. I'm like, all right, I thought it was cool. Like
exactly.
So going into this movie, I honestly just thought this felt like more Aquaman. I mean, like this felt like more of the first one. This is a self-contained movie. Doesn't address anything about the rest of the DCEU. There's no Flash. There's no Batman. So if you're watching this, I told you like there's no cameo from other characters, which doesn't make sense in the spectrum of everything that's going on. But I mean, this was a Aquaman level issue that could only be handled by Aquaman. Same thing like when you talk about Wakanda Forever, and it's like, oh, where's the Avengers? XYZ. Why didn't you help out in Wakanda Forever? Like this is a Wakanda issue.
Right?
It's
not for them. Yeah.
This movie, like, this is like global warming is the villain here.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, that's what it was if you think about it. If you break it down, yeah.
So like I said, going into this movie, I knew Manta was back in it, played by Yaya. We all know him from that Fighting Vipers. You know what I mean? And Black Mirror. If you guys seen that episode, but he's back in this, and he still wants to get his revenge for because his daddy was a piece of shit. Now for whatever reason he feels justified to kill Aquaman and everybody in his family. What are you thinking about, like, just them bringing Black Manta back? Because I mean, who else does Aquaman have?
I mean, I couldn't really tell you too many other villains that he has. I mean, unless it's the Reach or like someone else from the deep. I mean, besides his brother.
Remember when they were gonna do that spinoff? Remember when they talked about that?
I'm glad they didn't at this point because I don't know what I would have been watching at this point. I'm glad they decided to scrap that and just pursue this.
I feel like this is also what that was, though, because we basically got the villains that they were talking about.
They were very similar, to be honest with you, to what we knew the Reach as. I mean, I believe it's like 12 kingdoms, I guess it was, or there were 12. or 7 or 8. I guess it was like this was like extra kingdom that was like
Right.
lost and forgotten because of the travesty of the king, of how he turned everybody into monsters.
Right.
And I guess the battle, I mean, this was the only other villain I could think of, is a made up one I had never heard of from reading the comics. So I think it is kind of refreshing, because at this point all we would have had is another continuation of Black Manta if they decided to go to another film. Or of course Orm probably would have turned his back again if there was a third film after this. But I will say though that I'm actually surprised at that brotherly love type dynamic they decided to introduce, right? Like, that's not how it goes. I can tell you right now, like all the reading I've done on Aquaman, this is not, I don't remember this ever happening. I think Orm was like, the worst person ever as Ocean Master, and now
I mean, for the sake of, usually I'm not a fan of like redemption stories and whatever, but this felt, this particular Ocean Master Orm, like the way they had him set up, it was just like he generally just had a difference of opinion about how things were ran. He was raised to essentially hate his brother for something he wasn't even aware that he was going to get. Right, which they discussed in the movie. He's like, dude, I didn't even know anything about this. Like, I'm a bad villain. You know what I mean? It just so happened that you just so happened to challenge me. I beat you, as they casually say. Without any prep time.
Right.
Which is a bad I died laughing about. Yeah. So I beat you without any prep time. But no, I really like the dynamic between him and man, what is the name of
Patrick Wilson?
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. They have a scene in the movie where like he's like completely dried up and his muscles is gone, and that
is so crazy, because I was like, and then immediately submerges itself in the water and just goes back to being jacked, and I'm like, doesn't work like that. I'm pretty.
What are those toys like you submerge like and they just like inflate?
They just puff up, right? Yeah. That's exactly what we saw. It was instant muscles with
like H2O without water, I guess. Like,
like, do you got any? It's without Michael Jordan's secret stuff in Space Jam. Once you get it, you are buffer than anybody else out here. But
but like like you said, overall story, like I said, we get the, they kind of introduce like a secret villain here, which is, like you said, we have a Dark Trident that's introduced, and it's kind of like the soul or whatever of an old king from this kingdom that's like possessing Black Manta, helping him, take his revenge. And they introduced Orichalcum, which is like this energy that is pretty much destroying the atmosphere of the earth. And they're using it to melt the ice that has the armies and the king, so he can get out and do whatever he's going to do, I guess. What did you even just think about him? Did you feel like you feel anything from that? Like that was just kind of throwaway villain for this movie, or?
It was definitely a throwaway villain. I did like the aspect that they decided to add in, I guess, a little bit of a realistic, I guess, danger, as far as like, what we're still dealing with today, as far as like global warming and temperature change and climate change. I think that was kind of refreshing, because Jason Momoa, he's a very huge advocate of saving the planet and trying to recycle and stuff like that. Huge humanitarian. So I thought that was a cool thing that they introduced as a villain, but 100% this villain was just a throwaway villain at this point, and just another way, I guess, to kind of even the odds for Black Manta, because as we've seen in the first film, he got tore up. Though. I mean, he damn near lost an eye at one point, and all of a sudden his eye's back now, and I'm like, guess it was just a slice in the face.
He had the scar. Yeah.
So I mean, and even Arthur Curry in the film, or Aquaman, he said that Black Manta, he's different now. Like, he's completely built different, and that trident really gave him I guess an even playing field to be able to fight an Atlantean at this point. So I did think, I think we saw all but maybe like 5 minutes of the actual villain that was behind Black Manta.
Yeah,
and he didn't give no go. Like he wasn't giving any go at all. Like he was in and out, and not
right. They kept building up, because that scene, I feel like that
scene was
like going on for a while, and I'm like, all right, cool, he about to get loose, or they about to stop him before he does get out, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, I'm like, poof. I'm like, whoa, that's
it's like
a little
the
disappointing. I
end
would have.
scene where Orm, for whatever reason, decides to throw Arthur the trident instead of throwing it himself. I was like, that just seemed weird because it was like a weird pause in
Yeah.
between, like him, hey, catch it, brother, and then he tosses it. I mean, I guess he just, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. I guess that was like a trust thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it was, and I kept seeing these like not one shots, but there was like this weird like static slow motion that was going on.
That's what
It was like
yeah.
watching a CW when Clark used to like go slow motion and everything like starts to break down, like reality's about to hit, and that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, why they do that? Like it wasn't bad, but at the same time, it was like it was just strange seeing it in the theater. I think.
Right. What you think about the comedy? Do you think the comedy was too much? It felt like it was right there.
Well, I think it made it very lighthearted, because I mean, Jason Momoa just seems like that type of guy to throw little puns and jokes in there. But his character through the whole entire Flash, well, not Flash movie, but towards the end, he was very comical towards that part. And also in the Justice League, he was always throwing like little jokes in there. So for this movie to be having little tiny comedic puns or jokes, it kind of makes sense because he seems like, fun, loose type guy. And I mean, the song Born to Be Wild was playing in the theaters, during the scene. So it was like, he's just a fun loving guy trying to battle between being a king and be a dad at this point. And I guess dad jokes were in at this point because we saw quite a few of them in there.
They say what the time difference was between the first one and I feel like it was never mentioned.
I did see at one point they said 5 months, but I think that was 5 months in between that Black Manta had acquired the the chemicals opposed to that.
Right. I was trying to see like how long between him being king and having the baby with Mira and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it just felt like as far as the comedy wise, I didn't think the jokes were pretty funny. It was something that was just like, okay, this is just cheesy. Like,
for sure.
His character's humor. As he explains, like how he cracks jokes because he with tense situations, XYZ, stuff like that. Talk about the Mira, Amber Heard. This was originally, all the controversy. We were believe that she wasn't going to be in this movie, and she's in a good chunk of this movie. Like,
oh, she is. She is.
And she's performing. I mean, I personally don't care. It never affected me or bothered me at all. I can't really say she did a good job. She did a bad job. She was there, but she really wasn't there. This movie is more focused on Aquaman and his brother than it is her. There is a scene in the movie where she gets zapped by Black Manta where you're like, oh man, they just go kill her off. So that's going to be
that's it. I was like, definitely thought that was it.
But I mean, like overall, like you think she brought anything extra to this movie at all, or just...
I mean, I think she kind of brought the family dynamic as far as like a whole family, two parents household trying to raise a kid, even though she actually wasn't, I guess, in the house as much as Aquaman's character. I guess he was living on land more than she was, as far as because he like made a little pun and was like, "It's a single parents," you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was like, are they not together? So I'm like, and then you see them together, and I'm like, all right. I heard. I don't want to try to. I didn't want to try to figure out the dynamic at that point.
I'm like, was that line supposed to be in the movie? It was just kind of weird. Like, okay, we're married. Like, why would he say single dad? Like, okay, they forgot to take that out. Like, they thought they were gonna cut her out. I don't know. It's just weird. But, she came in her thing with her water magic. Whatever. She
was kind of cooking though. Like I was like, all right, she kind of get. I mean, we know Mira to be able to do, all sorts of crazy things with liquid or water, and they definitely showcased her powers quite a bit in this film. I think though, definitely more. I think she had more screen time than Tamora Morrison, the baby, and Nicole Kidman together. I feel like she was on screen more than them. I feel like
Nicole Kidman, I feel like was barely in the movie, but she was barely in the first one too. Like she didn't really.
They're like to keep the sons together, honestly, and give them a hug, and then all right, y'all go. Mama loves y'all, and I was like, oh.
It's been a minute since I've seen the first one, but I guess she definitely didn't show up until like the end where he like found her on like that island or whatever, wherever she was.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Amber Heard's in it. So just forewarning, if you're going to be triggered by that, it's not that serious. She's there. Like you said, Boba Fett's there. He does his thing. Aquaman has a son. We fight the big bad. Black Manta, is on his revenge plot by all means. Randall Park is in it as the scientist. That's something I definitely want to talk about. How and why was he not dead? I feel like there was like 3 to 4 different occasions where Black Manta was going to kill him and just did not kill him. Now, was that like he was still fighting the control, like he didn't want to kill him, or because he really needed him?
I think because he really needed him, because he was just a genius in a sense of being able to reconstruct all this ancient equipment that they were using. Even though he's not Atlantean at all, I mean, he just has an understanding with technology, I guess. And he figured, hey, I need him, especially for that the sonic cannon ray, I guess it was called, or the sonic ray. I guess he was like the only one to be able to man it for some reason. I'm not sure, but it definitely gave him a leverage of being able to stay around. But there's several different occasions where I was like, well, that's it. It's good seeing you in the film, especially towards the end, because I think he got hit with like some electric in the back.
Dude,
it was like
he
a
got
taser.
Blown up. He got shot with the taser.
He did get blown up. Yeah, I forgot.
He fell down a freaking pit.
That was the beginning. He should have died right there. He just happened to be the lucky one.
Weird thing swung him through. I'm like, yo, like, how is this guy not dead, bro? Like,
right.
What'd you think about the overall, like, the CG of the movie? You feel like it was cool?
I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I did think it was kind of difficult to see kind of
right. We saw it in IMAX.
Variety of creatures because it's just the contrast, right? Like,
completely forgot to mention we saw it in IMAX 3D. If you guys do I don't think it's necessary. Like, it's cool, but the glasses we had, mine were a little uncomfortable, a little tight. Like, there was no flex room on them. But I don't think this is necessary to see in IMAX 3D. Like, if you really press for it, I mean, sure, but you can see it regular. I feel like you're gonna get the same experience. It never felt like anything came, but like I feel like 3D movies never really pop out, because I saw Avatar 2 in 3D, and I was just like, it was cool. Like,
right. I feel like that's a camera right there, so it's like
right. And that movie was no. I'll take that back. No, it looked pretty damn good in 3D, but
yeah,
I feel like the first one I feel like they had a little bit more. It was more designed for 3D.
Right.
But like this one just felt like, okay, 1 or 2 parts, but not the overall. I can't justify the extra $10 and $15 for 3D for this.
No, not at all.
If you do it, the underwater scenes, like I said, I never had my eyes open underwater, so I don't know what people's hair looked like. I just thought that was funny, like the way people's hairs. Everybody looked weird underwater for some reason. Like,
no, it did. Everybody's hair had like a little bit extra fluff and was just constantly moving. So I don't know what currents are like, or I don't understand underwater tunnels or currents or wave patterns. But maybe that's how it works. I don't know. But like, everybody's hair was just they staying still, but it's just constantly going. So I'm like, all right, well.
I mean, overall, the creatures and like everything else, like I thought that looked really good. Like the little lobster looking dude, the whale.
Oh yeah, he did look pretty good. I think Topo looked pretty good too. Even the camouflage with the squid.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool too.
That apparently just disappears like in the movie. I'm like, we just not gonna use that no more.
I thought, and honestly, when I saw this suit originally, when they were doing like spoilers from like promotions before, I'm thinking like, all right, this is a new suit, this is it. But this is obviously just a suit for one particular mission in the desert, I guess. So
right, for him to go rescue his brother from prison.
Right.
So if we didn't mention that before, Orm gets out. He comes to help him save the big bad. And their whole chemistry with each other, because I feel like we don't get a lot of that at all in the first one because they beef.
No.
But I feel like their chemistry in this one is pretty solid. I really like the dynamic between them two. Like the funny and the serious, like the straight man, like the comedy here. So it's pretty good. Overall, man, like the movie, like I said, it's a solid watch. I would definitely, if I didn't see it at a screener, I would definitely have gone to go see it. This is definitely worth. I mean, probably at a matinday, but it's definitely worth. Definitely worth checking it out. The ending, like we get no end credits. This is it. This is the last of the DCEU before we get the James Gunn reboot, new Superman, new everything. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be like 90 years old before all of this comes out.
Probably same.
But we I can't wait to see, man. Like I said, I really wanted to see Henry do more in this. I feel like him out of everybody, I feel like he got shortchanged in the series.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like everybody else has had more time.
Yeah.
And he's only did like Man of Steel. They cheated him out of the cameo in Shazam for whatever reason.
He was a lunch tray. He was a lunch tray at Shazam.
Yeah. So I think everybody else has got more time. Even Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck himself has come back to play Batman. Apparently, from I'm not sure if that was confirmed, but originally there was a Batman scene here that was supposed to happen with Ben Affleck and Aquaman.
Oh, really?
I wonder if any of that is affected by the Flash at all. Because again, they don't talk about any of that at all. They don't mention any of the other heroes or anything.
No, not at all. I thought at least we would have seen maybe like one or two references towards some other character, or maybe a character we haven't seen before on the screen.
Yeah, because they kept showing the news. I was like, maybe they'll show somebody like globally on the news, like, right. Oh, this hero is helping with this crisis or something like that.
Nope, they're asleep. Everybody's asleep right now. We're on vacation, but
I will say this one thing, and we can get up out of here. But the ending of the movie felt a lot like the ending of Black Panther.
I thought it was Black Panther. If I closed my eyes, I was like, "Is this
like
the global UN is having some meeting? And right, we need to share our resources.
We're going to share technology with the world. Probably not a good idea, bro. I don't know about the tech.
Do you have vibranium down there? Just wondering. Yeah.
I had the famous mic drop. I am Iron Man scene where he was
bro. There were just so many. It was just too. It was different, but it was very, very close to what we've seen before. Honestly, for what it was as being an Aquaman standalone film, they did a good job of kind of disconnecting it from all those other dots that might have dragged it down. I think I think if they would have added a Flash reference in there, people would have lost their mind at this point. So for it to be the end and kind of moving on to something else, they definitely like cut the cord and just slide it. Okay, this is it. We're gonna move on. So
well, from what I'm seeing, they said if he wants to come back, he can, but I don't know if he's going to be Aquaman.
I heard he's going to be Lobo now. I thought, like, what?
Nah, I don't know if regular people, man, can handle seeing people play different actors.
Yeah,
possible recasting for other movies.
No, impossible.
But like I said, overall, good, solid movie. I'm not going. If I had to rate it, it was definitely like a 3.5 out of 5 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
like it's a solid 3. Like I said, I don't know what else I would have wanted from it that would have taken it a little bit further for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. I would definitely watch it again if it comes on Max or something, whatever. But I'm not about to go pay for it anytime soon. Any final thoughts you had on it, or anything you should?
Same. I mean, if I had to rate it, I would probably give it about a 3.5. If I was being generous, I'd say a 4 because just because I think Jason Momoa
good enough for you to buy a hot toy of Aquaman on your shelf.
Yeah, no, I don't. Honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure. I don't even know if we're gonna get any. To be honest with you, I feel like this film is good enough for them to make one. Seeing is that this is the end, and it seems like they've been dibbling and dabbling and trying to go back on a lot of stuff to do 2.0s. So I feel like we're going to get a Jason Momoa as a hot toy. I would love to get a Black Manta.
Oh, yeah. The new suit.
Yeah.
It felt like the same. I don't know.
Yeah. And last thing, what did you think about the Black Manta ending, though, for himself, though? Did you think that was, like, kind of stupid? Like, I thought he was being stupid.
Like the kill myself ending, but that could possibly be open-ended at the same time because, like, you don't know what else was below, XYZ, or the effect of what that magic had on him, or if the king that was destroyed, if that could still possibly. But they were like underwater, right? No,
were they? Wait, no. It's hard to tell what's what anymore when you're in there, and it's like, wouldn't he not be able to breathe if he was there?
So it's like at the same time, like it's like, all right, we could possibly bring him back, but as officially right now, Black Manta is dead.
I mean, for what they did is having Manta die, Orm go and do his own thing, Jason go back to being a dad and a king. I think they closed off a lot of people's story arcs as far as like they didn't really leave many open questions to like, what are they gonna do next? You know, it's like, oh, what they're gonna do, what they've been doing, they're gonna live their life, and you don't need to know anything else. So I think it was a solid movie, man. I think a lot of people, if they give it a chance and have an open mind and don't look for this to be Justice League or Infinity War, you're gonna enjoy it.
Because everybody wants every movie to be like an Avengers level threat movie. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just have a character.
Impossible.
You can't deep dive into characters no more. You can't explore like other avenues. Like everything has to be a global, like a big, you know, Thanos level thing.
And it's not like that when you read a comic book. You know what I'm saying? When you read a comic book, there are mediocre threats, right? Yeah, it's a build up over time, but like the first comic book you read isn't like, all right, we're fighting Galactus. I'm Spider-Man. I'm fighting Galactus. This is it. And every day from now on, I'm gonna be fighting a Galactus type character. No, it's gotta build up slowly, and you know, eventually the story arc gets there. But people just gotta give it time. That's all.
Right. Well, you heard it from us here, folks. Go check out Aquaman. Give it a chance. Let it make some money, so they can use that to build the new DC universe.
There you go.
Well, like I said, Aquaman 2, Lost Kingdom, solid movie. Black Manta's dead. Sorry, sucks. Amber Heard's there. We got Arthur Curry Jr. We got Boba Fett as Aquaman's dad. We got Nicole Kidman, who always looks wonderful underwater. Like I said, solid movie. We got Orm eating the cheeseburger, but with roaches on it apparently.
Yeah, that's
first of all, roaches crawling on that table. I'm not eating there.
I'm not even sure why he was eating it. What?
But like I said, solid movie. Any last marks before we get out here?
No, great film. Definitely go check it out, guys. Give it a chance.
Well, all right, you heard it here first, and we'll see you next time for hopefully another duo review. See you.